Imagine being 24 years old, fresh out of film school, and finding yourself on a 900-acre Texas ranch, smoking with Willie Nelson. Now imagine you're doing it in a fake Spanish town that Willie bought directly from the set of the movie Three Amigos. Or how about stumbling across a group of broke goth kids playing to nobody in the back corner of Warped Tour? You offered to shoot a gory music video for them in an abandoned hospital. 3 weeks later, they get signed, and today, those kids are the metalcore giants Motionless and White. Welcome to the Fable House podcast. Today we are sitting down with the man behind the camera for some of your favorite bands, Atlanta-based film and music video director, Scott Hansen. If you grew up in the MySpace or Victory Records era, Scott definitely helped shape your childhood. He's the guy who pitched the iconic skate punk performance video for A Day to Remember, the Downfall of Us All music video, which ended up dominating the MTV rock charts for 6 months straight back in 2009. He also directed the epic short film style music video for Maylene and the Sons of Disaster featuring Danny Trejo. Nowadays, he runs Digital Thunderdome Studios out in Georgia, working on feature films like Bad Candy, starring Slipknot's Corey Taylor, and coming up this July, he's dropping a batshit crazy new movie called Devour. Features Heidi as the lead in a story about 4 girls in a metalcore band who just happen to be vampires. In this episode, Scott pulls back the curtain on the grueling pitch process, how the industry has shifted from $1 million MTV budgets to rapid-fire social media reels, and what it takes to survive in the ever-changing landscape of music and film. Make sure to hit subscribe, leave us a rating. Let's dive straight into my conversation with the jack of all trades, Scott Hansen. Hell yeah. Well, thanks for coming on the show today.
It's fun.
So, I don't know if you want to kick it off with this, but do you want to tell the Willie Nelson story?
Yeah. Willie, I did a small country video that led to the Willie Nelson gig, which was crazy because I was like, I think I was 24, 25 when it was just like right out the gate from film school. And I got to direct a Willie Nelson video, but yeah, huge fan of Willie Nelson, just crazy. So like we get to his property, right? And we shot it in Austin. He has like 900 acres, and we get there and there's like a gate and all that. And we start loading in. We met his management, basic music video setup kind of thing. And it was just crazy because like he rides down on his horse named Rocket, a yellow stallion. And so like there's a hill with his house and all that, and he's riding down, and it was just like slow motion Willie Nelson, coming down to the set to check it out. We got to meet him and start setting up, get a few shots off, and we do a few takes. He had this Spanish town that was from a movie set in the middle of his property. So he had like entire Spanish town. And
was that just for fun, or like why did he have that?
It was like, I recognize this place. What is this place? Obviously it's on his property, but it was like an old church, like the saloon, and straight up Mexico. And I was talking to the manager, and he's like, "Oh, this is from a movie called Three Amigos." And I was like, I fucking love Three Amigos. Yeah. This is the background. This is the set. And he's like, yeah, Willie moved the set. He bought the set from the production and had it transported to his property, which is so baller.
Yeah, dude, that's awesome.
Like, I was like looking at pictures where we were standing. I was like, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, Martin Short. Like, that's pretty cool.
Good night, Ned.
This is like the three. I love that movie. I grew up on that movie. But yeah, no. So we started shooting, and Willie's like, he's getting a little shaky. Like, he had a coffee, or I don't know what he was. So he wanted to take a break, and his manager's like, hey, Willie has to smoke. And I was like, oh, that's awesome. Hell yeah. But he's like, as a sign of respect, the whole crew has to smoke with him. And I'm like, okay, hell yeah. Pull my arm. And so yeah, we all got a hit with Willie Nelson on his property in a Spanish town from Three Amigos, and made a music video. So it was just like, I don't know. It was like meeting James Dean, I guess, or it's like that kind of.
Yeah.
And he was just super cool, down to earth, just exactly as you would expect him.
That's awesome. So how did you get that gig initially? Like you said, it was right out of school, but like, how did you get that call?
I did another, it was like a bluegrass video for some artist named Josh Schilling, and they had seen that video. We shot that in like Roanoke, Virginia or something. And they had just seen the video, a friend of a friend on YouTube, and just kind of reached out and asked me for a treatment, and then I got it, and I was surprised because I was battling other. When you write treatments, you battle big directors all the time. I've lost so many big videos to bigger directors. It's just a part of the process. I battled like Wayne Isham, who did like, Enter Sandman. And like, I lost a Metallica video to him on the last album. And I was like, I've been in the running for a lot of big videos, and sometimes you get lucky and it hits, and sometimes you don't,
Yeah, well, and that was a question I had for you is, are you still directing music videos? Are you still doing music videos?
Yeah. I still here and there.
Is the pitch process still the same? Do you still have to do a treatment and then, do you go through agencies for that stuff? Like,
yeah. Sometimes, well, I'm repped at LA, so that helps a little bit. I get past some of the fluff with 33 and West in Los Angeles, so they help me get through some fluff. Sometimes I'll get videos of my own though, just off social media or something, all kinds of stuff. But yeah, I mean, there is a pitch process for sure. Like I don't know. Sometimes I get direct hires where they're like, "Hey, we just want to hire you and work with us."
Yeah. Could you walk me through the pitch process? What's that like?
Yeah. So the pitch process will be like, here's a song, write a treatment, what you think you would do on this budget. And then I'll put together a shot deck, a color palette, some inspirational videos, what I think would be a cool storyline to pitch. And I don't know, I love and hate that process because like you're kind of throwing your best ideas out, and you don't know if they're even going to read them or if the band's even going to see it. So it's kind of like a little, I've never agreed with how that's set up. It's just how it is, unfortunately, but I wish it was a little more secure because who knows if they're going to read that treatment. It could be opinionated on somebody else reading it, and they're like, "Oh, we like that, or we don't like it. We're not going to send it to James Hetfield." You never know. It's just like kind of like playing roulette, I guess. So,
well, and what's stopping them from taking your idea and using another director?
Exactly, and that's totally happened a couple times where I'm like, "Wait, that's I wrote that," and I see my idea on another video through the same label, So, and they would respond, "Oh, we're just borrowing some inspiration." I'm like, "No, that was my idea, and
you ripped it." Yeah.
So it happens. It's just, that's why I prefer. I try to request direct hires, unless it's like Metallica or I just got to write for Creed recently. That was cool.
Hell yeah.
Back, and I don't like the process. I wish it was like a little more secure because back in the day when I was starting, like directors actually got royalties from MTV and MTV2, and that was a thing. That was like a streaming thing. That was a streaming back then, and now all that's gone.
Nothing like that happens with like Vivo or like Spotify or anything like that, because all those things are like ad and video now, but I'm guessing that's not the case. They dodge royalties somehow.
It just used to be a thing. Even some of the people I looked up to that were big back in the day, who did the $1 million budgets, like $1 million is nothing back in like 98, and earlier, and they would get crazy royalties off of that. But I mean, all that's gone too. So it's just like a mix of technology and stuff, and just things are different. And I mean, I get it, and even YouTube, like you can't claim YouTube is, a label takes all those now. They don't care if you're the.
Yeah, dude. Well, on YouTube, the thing that's been blowing my mind on YouTube is like YouTube's the #1 streamed platform in the world right now. And I think about how they have so much technology at their fingertips. How have they not figured out how to distribute a royalty via YouTube? Just like rather than having to go back through a label or an agency or anything like that, it just goes directly into the bank accounts of the people who own the rights. And it doesn't do that because and I think about that with covering songs, like you see all these people doing like the hip hop version of a metal song, or like they do these genre mashup things. And it's like, they should be able to let those people monetize them because YouTube's running ads on them. Google's running ads on it. So like you should let the creators of those videos monetize it. And then you should have it set up to where it just automatically pays the royalty to whoever wrote it, like that. I know they have the technology to do that. I don't know why
they don't want to do it because especially the AI covers. I saw the
Yeah.
Eminem one, the rock version.
Yeah.
And I was like, holy shit, this is crazy. And some
Yeah.
guy took all his money off that video because it's made with Suno and AI.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. It's strange how that works.
Have you seen the Conway Fitty one where yeah, I
dude.
know the guy who made that one,
Oh,
and
wow.
yeah, and it's just wild. It's like, I mean, it's super catchy too. Like you listen to it and you're like, I mean, this is a banger. But like it's why can't they should be able to figure out how to distribute that. But
They have to, because like even for movies, like everything is moving to YouTube. Like, you saw the Iron Lung movie come out. That was
yeah,
a big YouTuber, Mark Mark something.
Markiplier.
Yeah. And he self-distributed that movie to theaters himself with no distribution company, and
Yeah.
it made $50 million.
Yeah. Well, and I don't know if you did a deep dive on this, but I did a deep dive on this one. So he did have a distribution company initially, and Centurion, yes, and they were giving him a deal on 3 theaters. Like that was the initial deal, was they were going to get you in 3 theaters, and he was basically like, let me see if I can improve this situation a little bit. And then he took it upon himself to see if he could get it picked up in some other places, and then he had a lot of success. And then I think Centurion won big on that too, because they were facilitating, basically the back end of all that stuff. But
yeah, crazy. Yeah, sometimes
Yeah,
distributors don't care. They won't even try. They just throw you out there and they get that first weekend and they're like, oh, all right, cool, on to the next. But I love that he went all out, because you can't email the theaters and be like, hey, here's my trailer. What do we got to do to make this happen? And obviously he has millions of followers, so that equated the money to them. So that's smart.
Well, let's backtrack a little bit. I would love to hear about you directing that A Day to Remember music video.
Yeah. I mean, they're awesome. Yeah, that's when I did a lot of Victory Records work back in the day.
Mhm.
That was like the big label where it's like Sumerian or, Fearless or whatever it is nowadays. The Victory was everything. And Tony Brummel is his name, the guy that owned the label. He was kind of a gangster. And yeah, so A Day to Remember came along. And I had never heard of the band. They had this cover of a Katy Perry song that was big on the first album. And that kind of,
it was Since You've Been Gone. They covered that was on the first album.
yeah. Wait, is
wow.
that
Kelly Clarkson. They did Kelly Clarkson, Since You've Been Gone. That's a popular cover they did. But did they do a Katy Perry song too?
No, yeah, it was Kelly Clarkson. That's what it was.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, that's a badass cover. That's an awesome.
Here's the thing, we started out friends. It was cool, but it was all pretend.
Yeah, it was a great cover, and I liked that music. And I remember they hit me up, and I was doing all kinds of Victory Records videos, and they were like, "Hey, check out this album. If you were to direct a music video, what song would you pick? We're trying to decide on a first single." And I'm like, listening, they got New Jersey Lipton Tea song, and they had some other ones that were really good. And then I heard this Machine Gun thing, and I was like, yo, that's catchy as hell. And the colors of the band had this skate punk vibe to them. And so I was just like, hey, what if we did like like Back to the Roots? They're in Ocala. There's skate parks all over the place. Let's do a skate video and just make it fun and performance based and show off how good this band is live. But yeah, that was the pitch. It was just a basic performance video. And then I was like, dude, if we had a storyline, it'd be kind of funny, to do some storyline stuff.
Yeah. Well,
because they want to make fun of things,
Yeah. Well, did they know that one was going to be the hit that it turned into? Or
no, there was no idea. Like they thought they were going for that other song. I forget the name of it. Something with T, some kind of drink or something in the album. But that was the single, and I was like, no, wait, you guys should pick this other song, because this one is like every kid's gonna say this intro, and it's so catchy. And then they ended up picking it, and then we did the video, and then it came out, and it was like #1 on MTV for like 6 months in the rock charts. It was on there 2009.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2009, I believe it was. And God, it's so long ago. But
Yeah.
it was awesome to see that, because it could have been a different song. Who knows what would have happened if it was a different song?
Yeah.
You never
Well,
know.
that's wild. I think about that song and I go, Downfall of Us All is like, when I think of iconic, A Day to Remember song, like that's the song I think of when I think about them. And it's just, yeah. And it's so wild for me to think that they didn't obviously know that that was going to be a hit, you know? But yeah. Oh, you said you did the first Motionless in White music video? Shit.
Yeah.
How'd that come about?
Yeah, I was just at Warped Tour when Warped Tour was cheap and $20 back in the day. Now it's like $300-$400 or whatever. I was just seeing this band play, and they were like, they won some competition to play like at Warped Tour, and they were like, you know, unsigned, broke, like super, you know, punk kids, like goth, like little Marilyn Mansons basically. And I was watching them play, and I was like, holy shit, these guys are actually really good. And they were like, you know, playing on no stage, like in the back corner. And I was just like, hey, you guys have done a video? And they're like, yeah, we're trying to get that moving and all that. And I was like, well, hey, if you were, you know, if you want to do a video this week, you know, you're in town, the next Warped Tour stop is not for a week, so let's shoot something. And I just randomly had a abandoned hospital pretty close by, and I was like, "What if you guys in this abandoned hospital?" Because they had a haunted house in there, and I was friends with the haunted house people, and they were like, "Yeah, shoot a video in here." And there's this little church area. It was kind of creepy, and so yeah, we just shot a little storyline that was kind of gory and weird. And then the performance was, yeah, Ghost in the Mirror is their first single. And then I cut it together. I sent it around to a few labels, and Tommy from Tragic Hero loved it. And then he sent it to Bob at Fearless, and Bob signed the band like 3 weeks later. And Fearless at the time was like a huge up and coming attack. Like they were giving what is the other big label? They were giving Metal Blade a run for their money, Century Media, and like there's a Sumerian. There's a big, you know, Sumerian versus Fearless kind of thing going on at the time. But yeah, I know. And now these guys are all millionaires. It's crazy. So Motionless in White, and Chris is kind of like an icon now. So that's pretty wild to me. Meeting some kids, you know, there at a Warped Tour, and then now they're super famous, and we keep in contact with them.
And I feel like that's a good lesson in, like, you got to take your shot too. You know, like you saw them, you listened to them, you liked them, you're like, hey, y'all haven't made any videos, let's make a video. And they were like, sure. And then they blow up. That's awesome.
Yeah. And the crazier thing is, like, that same month, that month was insane. They a week before that, I had just done another video for a brand new band called Memphis May Fire. Nobody's ever.
I was just about to ask you about that one.
and they were like brand new. Nobody heard of them. And then 2 weeks before that was another band called We Came as Romans, who is also huge. It was like those three bands all within 4 or 5 weeks. And then maybe a month after that was Ice Nine Kills. Like, so when I tell people, like, hey, you never know who you're working with, like, in the future, like, that's crazy. Because, like, all those bands, to me, they didn't have a lot of money. They're, barely had anything. And I'm trying to get my name out there to get more clients and make connections. And then here you are, like, these 4 or 5 bands are massive, like, now, like 15 years later, 16 years later. So that's why I tell people, yo, if you're a brand new band, just stick with it, man. You never know. Because I didn't know I was working with that caliber of kids. I was a kid too, so you never know.
Well, and I think there's also something to be said for, like, you liked it, they liked you, you liked them, and, like, there's something there. And then, whether that blows up or not, who knows. But so Memphis May Fire video that you directed, that was North Atlantic versus North Carolina.
Yeah, I don't even remember the name, but it was the first one. They were kind of almost Southern rock a little bit too. They weren't their metalcore version they are now. They kind of molded into that. Man, it's
so how'd you get that one? That was another one where you just kind of hit them up and
yeah, they were just a friend of a friend, and they, I started getting a lot of videos out, and obviously just, I think I was doing a lot of MySpace stuff. Some MySpace stuff around.
That was definitely the MySpace era.
And I was big on there. And I had a lot of bands hit me up. I was doing like 40 videos a year. So that's a video per week, easy.
Yeah.
They were all budgets all over the place, like big, small, tiny, big, massive, and
if you were doing a video per week, were you shooting, directing, editing? Were you doing like the whole shebang on these, or like were you just directing? What was your process on that? I mean, that's a shit ton of work. 40 videos in all.
I was mainly doing most of it, but I would have some editing help, and I'd have a small crew, depending on the budget. But yeah, no, I directed all of them. I edited most of them, or I'd had the final edits. I'd have someone sync it for me, or I would sync it. It just depended on time. But I was working a lot then. Up until COVID. COVID was kind of the Thanos snap for music video industry. I feel like I was so busy. I was still doing 30 plus videos around COVID, and then COVID hit, and it was just like, all right, nobody wants to. I think I'd average 10 to 15 videos now a year, but I'm more into movies now, so that's cool. But yeah, the end of the world, COVID was pretty impactful on everything, I think. So that was a crazy time.
Yeah. Well, so you're still directing music videos?
Yeah, I still do music videos. or reels. I've had people like they don't even shoot music videos anymore, where they'll shoot the video and cut it up in the reels now. Like that's the thing.
Yeah.
So it's it's weird. It's definitely weird. Because I feel like I don't know how the attention spans can get even faster. 3 seconds is fast. So I don't know. It's going that direction, I guess. Hopefully levels out a bit, but
yeah, man. I saw one, I don't know what you want to call them, like content creator, but like a band kind of situation where they're talking about how they'll shoot like 40 pieces of content in a shoot. And like they'll have all these different songs lined up. They'll like book a location, and then they'll know that they can get like 7 different looks out of this location, and then they'll shoot all these different pieces, and they're like shooting just these little, like, it might be like the chorus or the hook from the same song, and they'll shoot it like 10 different ways in this one location, and then just fire them all off. It is very interesting seeing what people are doing on social media with the music stuff. Like, I was looking at one band, and they posted like the same hook, like 40 different ways on their page. And I'm like, man, okay, it blew up once when they did that. And
it's weird how that's a thing. But yeah. I just did a music video, 3 weeks ago, for a band called Lilac on Judge and Jury Records, which is the 3 Grace guys.
Okay.
They own that label, but yeah, they had all kinds of side content during the video shoot that was being filmed, and different angles in the lead singer's dress, and then we shot all the green screen stuff, but then she shot her own thing while she was waiting in between takes, like with her phone. And it's like, wow, it's it's a thing now. It's just how it is.
Yeah, well, and I feel like that's a whole nother skill set. Like, you might be like really good at like performing on stage and good at your craft as like a musician, but like that doesn't guarantee you're going to be good at making social media content. Just an example of that, I saw that video a while back that they put out about how Alex Warren had released Ordinary.
Ordinary. You got me kissing the ground, sanctuary.
And did that hook like 100 times, and then it almost completely given up on it, and then the book talk thing happened, and then he released it on some book talk stuff, and then it blew up, and then that's how he became like who he is now. And he's like, but everybody was telling him that was going to be a dud, and then I'm sure they're eating their words right now.
Yeah, you never
But,
know. I mean, I
yeah.
do miss the days of getting off of the bus stop and the top 10 TRL countdown with Carson Daly. That was my shit back in the day. And that's
Yeah.
what I feel like music videos were more, I don't know, like considered pieces of art back in the 90s, early 2000s, where now it's like, get a reel. We're going to shoot 30 reels off this shoot today, and it's chopped up into tiny pieces, so it's just interesting. But I love watching music video too. Like even now, I'll still watch the full one for sure. So,
Dude, yeah, we do it all the time. We have a group chat right now where we just share that kind of stuff because it's also like harder to sift through all the crap than like it ever was before. But I don't want to get too far away from this. I want to ask you about Maylene and the Sons of Disaster and the videos you did for them. How'd you get linked up with those guys? Where's this in your timeline?
yeah, they were with Ferret Records, I want to say. Yeah, Ferret Records they were with, and they had seen a video. I forget what, this is like 2011 maybe. Dallas, the lead singer, reached out to me and he was like, "Hey, we want to do like a movie music video, kind of like a short movie, and stop the song and have a little scene and all that." And I was like, "Yeah, that'd be amazing." And I just worked with Danny Trejo, in a movie called Bully, which was cool. So yeah, we did that movie, and then I kept on to his contact, and I was still living in LA. And so I was like, "Hey, Danny," his agent, whatever, Gloria. I was like, "How cool would it be if we had a couple cheerleaders kill you in a grave with a chainsaw?" And he's like, "What?" And I sent him the script. I actually sent it to Candyman, Tony Todd first, and he was going to do it, but I couldn't get on his schedule. And then I was like, "Oh wait, I can hit up Danny Trejo." And I hit up Danny, and he was in, paid him, and he came out and did the shoot. And the band was like so amped because it's hard to get a big name, and he was Machete at the time, so he was that already. I mean, he's still big. Con Air, Machete, like all this stuff, Desperado. But he was great, man. So cool to work with. We shot somewhere in Santa Clarita, just in the hills, and then had this house that was pretty creepy. And yeah, man, and the little girl in the video blew up to be a famous YouTuber. I forget her name. It's killing me.
Oh, really? I'm gonna have to look that up. The song was "Open Your Eyes." Yep.
And then the cheerleader girl is Devaney Pinn. She's a fairly big horror actress now. So, but yeah, the little girl, man, what is her name? She's a big YouTuber right now. Huge. I forget her name, but she was a nobody then. She was just cast. And I run into that all the time. I just did another music video for it was a pop cover video maybe 4 or 5 years ago for Tanner, who just got cast as Shaggy in the new Netflix show. He's the lead. He's fucking Shaggy for Scooby-Doo, the live action race. And I did that kid's video like 4 years ago. And now he's Shaggy. And I was like, what is going on? So you never know. He was doing covers, and his parents hired me, and it was great to work with him. It was a cover of Post Malone, funny enough.
Was it Leah Marie Johnson? Is that the
Leah Marie? Yeah.
Okay.
Sure, yeah.
Yeah, man, I remember that music video coming out, and I remember being like, how'd they get Danny Trejo in their music video? But so you shot that West Coast. And doesn't Dallas live in like Alabama or something like that now? I know he's like from somewhere around there, but
yeah, no, I think he's in Ocala.
Okay. I guess they just traveled over there to do the music video.
It was all storyline, actually. He just didn't want to do band shots. So I was like, all right, we just film it all in LA. And then I ended up doing another video with them a couple of years ago where they made their comeback because Dallas, he had like an accident on an ATV, and it was pretty trouble. I've known him for a while, but he just had an ATV accident, and they took a break, and they had a comeback video. I want to say like Them Witches or Burn the Witches, or that was the name of the last one I did with them. But they're awesome. I love that band. They're scrappy, Southern rock, and like a little bit of acoustic, and a good mix.
That's the kind of stuff I listen to. Like, I really like their music. And I don't know if you've seen this, but on the podcast, we've been doing this thing where we interview bands and musicians, and we have them do a one take thing at the end. Yeah. And I'd actually talked to Dallas a while back about doing it, and they said they wanted to do it. They were just busy at the time, so I don't know when we're going to get around to do it, but that'll be a fun little, like, we can do a crossover thing where we can talk about you with them. Well, I know you're going to be tight on time here in a second, but do you want to talk about your latest, Devour's the latest movie?
Yeah, Devour is funny enough about 4 chicks in a metal band who are vampires. And we cast Heidi Shepard as the lead, who actually replaced Alyssa White Glutz from Arch Enemy. We had her first, but we couldn't get her visa right, so we couldn't get her from Canada over to the U.S. properly. So we had to swap her, unfortunately, but she was super cool. But yeah, Heidi took her spot and did a great job, actually. And that comes out in theaters in July. So last weekend of July is when they're putting that out. But it's fun. If you're in a band or you like music videos, like, it's hilarious and batshit crazy and monsters. And
yeah, the trailer looked awesome.
Inside band jokes that if you're in a band or been in a venue, you totally get all these jokes.
Very cool. And y'all shot it in Georgia?
Yeah, shot in Georgia, yeah.
And do you want to talk a little bit about your studio you got out there?
Yeah. We run Digital Thunderdome Studios, and we do a lot of music videos, a lot of short films, a lot of features, some commercials here and there. But we like to, I don't know, we're always connected to the music video area. Even a movie before Devour is called Bad Candy. We had Corey Taylor from Slipknot acting in that movie, and that was crazy. I mean, he's huge.
Yeah.
He was fun to work with, but yeah, we kind of always have an inspiration with a music video or some kind of music in the movies. So it's just kind of on that different plane, I guess, of, oh, we're doing movies, but hey, there's music videos even here. I even had a guy I just wrote a script with that is another funny movie about a band, but it's like and set in 2002. It's like a Silverstein type band who is poor, so heavily screamo emo, and they accidentally become bank robbers, and it's a great script, and I hope to get it made. But we're going through some changes right now with it, but it's super accidental chaos and gore and funny shit, and it's just about an emo band. So it's kind of hilarious. If you remember that time, that was such a time with all those bands, like all Thursday, Thrice, Seosin, all those bands I love those bands. So.
Yeah, well, and I feel like people are starting to become nostalgic for those bands, like the whole like elder emo movement. And,
I've seen it come back around every decade. It's crazy. So.
Yeah. Have you seen the guy where he dude, there's so many like funny adult versions of that now, where there's the guy who does the Willie emo thing.
Oh, yeah, I have seen that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Willie Emo. So baby, kiss me through the
and then there's like the emo realtor. Have you seen that guy's videos where he like,
If this house doesn't sell, I'm gonna lose my mind.
you should, it's really funny because basically he'll write like an emo song about each property. And then
crazy.
Yeah, dude, there's so much stuff like that. And then there's
wife. Yeah, who's the guy with his wife? He has the black hair and he always looks at My Chemical. That guy's great.
Well, and that dude's hilarious, and he just did a skit where he had like the guys from like Twilight in it and stuff like that. And
he brings the fans in skits. I saw him do something with August Burns Red. Like, that was so funny. And he's just a content creator who loves emo. It's so cool.
Dude, yeah, it is. Like, when I watched that video, it definitely caught my attention because, like, I was like, oh shit, there's so and so. Oh shit, there's that guy. And like, who else is he gonna have in this Instagram video? You're like, man, this guy puts so much effort into Yeah, I can't remember the guy's name either, but I'll look it up and I'll credit him. We'll probably show a clip of that guy in here since we're talking to him. But yeah, well, thanks for coming on today, and I hope this is the first of many times we have you on to talk about it. Yeah, thank you.
100%.